am ready. Welcome to April and Debbie Dish the Truth on Weight Loss, where we share the raw, real, and sometimes messy truth about our weight loss journeys.
I am Debbie, a weight loss coach who lost 100 pounds and have been living in maintenance for 4 years.
And I'm April, a weight loss coach currently down 60 pounds and continuing my weight loss journey.
Together, we'll explore the ups, downs, and everything in between, showing you that lasting weight loss is possible no matter where you are on your path.
Yes, and today we're going to talk vacation mentality. And it's kind of going to piggyback on last week's podcast when we talked about I've gained weight. Why do we keep trying, or why do I keep trying? So I'm leaving for vacation tomorrow. Very exciting.
Ooh, ooh.
And yes, and it's going to be lots of fun. And I could think I've gained 20 pounds. So this week's a free for all. It'll be what it'll be, and I'll deal with the rest when I get back home. But I'm choosing not to go into this with that thought because it doesn't feel good to me. And it's kind of what people say, throwing the baby out with the bathwater, or
Oh,
um
yeah.
yeah, it's an all or nothing mentality, which is never beneficial to life in general, right? So yes, I've gained, but I want to continue becoming the person and figuring out how to navigate life through vacations and holidays, birthdays, sad times, happy times, without using food as my first go-to choice of how to function, right? And if
Hmm.
we're catching some of the Facebook posts, the Facebook post we posted on Friday was about weekends. And I know a lot of people struggle with weekends, like, oh, finally a break and I can finally relax. And it always involves food, or a lot of times for people who, um, and I invited people to think about, myself included, how can I have fun? How can I relax? How can I have um, of time for myself over the weekends where the focus is not food? So I, for myself, took that time to, I love our porch. I have my mom's fireplace, electric fireplace on the porch. We have windows that look out to the fall, to the trees and the fall colors. And I took myself some coffee and I sat down, I put a cozy blanket on, and I just sat there. And I set a timer for 15 minutes because with the upcoming vacation, we had a
Hmm.
lot of stuff to do, cleaning up the house, packing, all this stuff. So I set a timer and I sat and I just drank coffee and looked out the window and really took the moment in. And first of all, when you're sitting for 15 minutes and not doing anything but being mindful, it's a very long time.
Yeah.
And I actually found myself asking Alexa how much more time was left. And but I noticed the colors of the trees, the sun was behind the clouds, then it came out and it just made all the colors so bright. It just really, I really intentionally sat there and paid attention to the things that I love. I looked at the fireplace, and that's kind of what I'm also working on with myself and practicing with vacation. Of course, I'm going to eat meals and snacks, but I'm really focusing on the fact of why I go there and what is so exciting about it, which is, so we're going to Disney World and we camp with our friends at Fort Wilderness, and then we go to the parks and there's Halloween decorations, and we're with our friends. We're at the parks, we're having fun. All the things that I love to do, those are the things I'm telling myself is the focus of the trip. And when you work on that and practice that, the food is not the main character. It's not the main focus anymore.
Yeah. And I think you have talked in the past about putting yourself in that situation, like envisioning yourself on vacation or at dinner, like when you went on vacation to the Cape. Right, I think it
Mhm.
was the Cape that had that really good thing that you loved. I can't remember what
Yeah.
it is now, but you envisioned yourself sitting there, and I think we can do that on, on vacations too. And I this is not about planning for vacation, but we so often say we don't have enough time for X, Y, and Z. And I love that you set a timer for 15 minutes. a lot of us could go into that 15 minutes thinking, oh, that's not enough. Not enough time to walk, not enough time to exercise, not enough time for me time. But you're sitting there and it's like, this seems like a long 15 minutes, right? And it was, I love that because we think time is so short until we spend time focused and it's not so short always. But you're right. I mean, we are we don't go on vacation all the time. Like we get to practice when Saturday and Sunday show up. They're the weekends. They come every week. You know, we still go into them thinking, "Oh my gosh, how are we going to handle it?" But vacations we don't. We get a couple times a year maybe to plan those. So it's okay
Mhm.
to be freaked out and nervous like, "Oh my gosh, how am I going to do? I'm not going to show up for myself. I am going to show up. I'm going to restrict. I'm going to have fun." Like all these things come in and that's normal, but taking the time like you are to just be aware, like, I'm going to go and have fun, and food is not my focus. Here are the things that I'm going to do that will take the focus kind of off the food, but also we get to have, when you want to have those things that you enjoy, you're going to enjoy them more and eat them more mindfully because, you know, they're things that you've planned that are special.
Yes. And I think that there's some tips I can give of what I've been doing on trips so far, which one is a big one is just packing my own things that I like. And part of that comes from because I have a gluten issue. I know I have to, if I want bread for when we're having, like one night we're all getting together and somebody's making cheesesteaks. So I need my own roll, which is fine. So I pack that, but also snacks like protein forward snacks I focus on when I can, right? So like I like to pack beef sticks and stuff like that, but I've also packed certain sweet treats that I like that are individually packaged, that are safe for me. I know that they're not going to upset my body. I feel good when I eat them. And those things I'm being mindful of. At the same time, and I listened to it was I don't remember the podcast, but I was listening to something and they were talking about this person was going on a cruise. And I think a lot of us, when we go away, we think, oh, I could just eat whatever I want. I don't get this stuff at home. Somebody else is cooking. I've paid this money for it. All of these things, and they're all valid points. But the other side of that is so when I'm in this situation, I really do think about what can I truly not get at home if I want it? Like, I'm not going to another
Hmm.
country. Maybe if you're going to another country, that would be another thing to think about and discuss in a different way. But for me in this trip, I'm not going to another country. So I really think about like, what are the things that are an exception that I cannot get locally to home? They might be
Yeah.
something I would indulge in. So there's one thing that I could think of, like there's a specific thing in Disney Springs that I like to get. And that if I have the opportunity, I will get that. But previous years, I can tell you already in progress that I've made so far. Previous years, so there's these little marshmallows. There are specific marshmallow that they sell there.
Oh, I
And
remember you talking about. Yeah.
yes, they're very different than a marshmallow you would get in a grocery store. So a few years ago when I went, I bought like 6 boxes to bring home because I can't get them. You know,
Yeah.
you got to have more. And I didn't end up eating all 6 boxes. I ended up throwing them out because I thought I had gotten to the point where I had had enough of them. And I know I'm going to be seeing my friends every year. So the opportunity of getting these is going to happen again. And so last year, I had one box while I was there during the week. I would have a couple pieces each day, whatever. And I did not bring any home. And that
Oh
was
my
okay.
gosh.
So
Yeah.
that's the thing to think about. How can I incorporate it without thinking I have to have all or nothing? Like I can't have that versus I have to have it all and bring it home to have it for later. And there's a middle ground with it is kind of what I'm trying to say. And when you go out, this is a big one too. And I used to think this a lot, like when I go out, well, I paid for it. And I'm not going
Yes.
to eat the leftovers because I'm not home. So I would eat whatever was there. But the point of going out to me now is somebody else is cooking, but somebody else is cleaning up. That's the biggest thing for me. There's no dishes.
Mm.
It's very exciting to me to not have to do the dishes or clean up a kitchen or anything like that. So that's part of what I paid for, right? You've paid for somebody else to cook for you. You've paid for somebody else to clean up for you. You've paid for somebody to serve you. That price you've paid is not just for the food. So you're not getting your money's worth if you don't finish it. You have still paid for the whole experience. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. Like, think of the whole experience. That's not just the food. When you're going out, even though the food is the goal because you want to eat a meal, there's so many other factors that's making that an enjoyable time for you other than just the food you're eating.
That is so true. And congratulations on not bringing marshmallows back last year. And I
Thank you.
think that what you're demonstrating, I think, is so much what we all um, should really choose to do or practice doing. Like, you're going on vacation, you go every year, and you're looking back and seeing the successes from previous years. Like, you're seeing your progress that you've done, and that's going to help support you
Mhm.
when you go, because, last year I proved I don't need to do this. And, can I do it again? Can I add to it? Can I, maybe I'll choose differently. But you've got that proof that you can. So you get to choose, will I continue? Um, and I also like packing things that you like. And we were talking before the podcast about all the candy that was brought into work because you're going on vacation to celebrate Halloween down in Florida, and we're all going to be celebrating, those who do Halloween wherever you are, right? So there's going to be candy everywhere. And how many of us have looked into a candy bowl and thought, there's not a single candy bar in here that I like, but we eat it anyway because we'd rather eat something that we don't like than to feel like we're missing out. So, or everybody else is, so I should have something. And if you're going to eat the candy and you're going to join people and that's the choice you're going to make it something that you like. So don't just put it in your mouth because it's there and you feel like you're missing out. Do what April does. And, okay, so there's going to be candy. Have it be your favorite candy. Pack that so you can enjoy what you like instead of settling if you do that. And the 6 boxes coming home, it makes me think about Girl Scout cookies. Like, we all freak out that, oh my gosh, Girl Scout cookies are here. I mean, I have bought 20 boxes of Girl Scout cookies before. I am not going to lie. And we put them in the freezer. And you know what? It's okay to throw those things away because, like you said, we've already spent the money on them. And, you know, throwing away, I don't even know how much Girl Scout cookies are anymore these days, but however much it is, or however much the marshmallows are, like you said, you've already spent the money, and will throwing those items away move you forward to your goals, which really, those goals are priceless.
Yeah, and when you're coming up on events or holidays or vacations or anything like that, like you had pointed out, look back to things you liked that you did during them and look back at the things you left that um event not liking. Like, I am reliving my last trip, whether it was Disney or whether it was Cape Cod or wherever it was, but just when we were away and the things that I did that I felt good about when I came home, and the things that when I came home, I thought, oh, that wasn't really what felt good for me. It's all practice. Every
Hmm.
holiday, every weekend, every birthday, whatever it is, it's all practicing and learning to what you want to do and work on and how you want to show up next time. It's never just like you had to practice learning anything. If you are trying to change your lifestyle and how you use food in your life, it's a practice. And every time that moment passes, look back at it and think about what was good that felt good and think about what didn't feel good in your body. And now you know for next time what to practice and what to work on. It's all learning.
It is, and it's always, and Kevin and I always ask each other this question if we go out to dinner. Um, well, and we try something different or we're at a new restaurant, would you order it again?
Mhm.
Like, and it's kind of an interest, it's just our conversation, but it's also, I think it's so good because you know what? Next time you go out to eat, I don't need to wonder how this tastes. I didn't like it. Could be I didn't like it at some other restaurant. Do I really want to try it here? Or do I want to stick with, like, again, just asking yourself, is it something I want to do again? And having simple conversations, even over menu items, I think is so important because like instead of our brains thinking, oh, I gotta try this, it sounds amazing. No, I've already had something like it. You don't really need it. You just think you do because you're reading it and it sounds good.
It's true. And also you could write I just was as you were talking, I was thinking, write down the reasons that you are enjoying something other than the food. Like I am probably now, because it came into my head, going to make a list today of the reasons and the things I enjoy the most about being there. Because honestly, it's not much food. There's a couple of things that I look forward to and get excited over, but honestly, when I really sit and think about it, not too much. A lot of people go there for foods. You'll see it all online and YouTubes and stuff, but but for me, it's more about my friends. Having a week-long vacation with my husband is very exciting to me. The weather, the rides, just being in Disney, just being at the campsite, the environment in general. When sometimes when you get up early enough and I'm walking to the bathrooms to use the shower, whatever, there's deer out. Disney deer, we call them. I mean,
Oh,
they're real wild deer,
yeah.
but but I got a really great picture of them last year. Like, think of those things and make the food secondary, not even third, fourth, fifth place. Make it way down on the list. It can be a part of it. Just don't let it be the main character all the time. And on
Oh,
the weekends, it's super important because those do come every week. And it's really important to cultivate the life that gives you relaxation and happiness and fun without the food being the top bill on the list.
yeah, make it, and I love that because I always used to be, if I was going out for a day trip, I would always say to Kevin, where we eat. That
Mhm.
was the focus. And now it's not. Like I need to know I'm getting my latte to drink on the road and I'm gonna see donkeys and food. If we get hungry, we'll figure something out, right? But like food does not need to be the destination. Food does not need to be the experience. Like it can be part of it, but it doesn't need to be the focus. Like your friends and Fort Wilderness, I love it. It's so fun. Like it's just there's so many things in our lives to focus on that don't include food. And you know what? When we do focus on the food and celebrate that, that's okay too, right? But make the
Yeah, I think
decisions
it's
because you
something.
want to.
Yeah, and it is so especially it depends on where you are in your journey, right? So when I first started, and I'm sure Debbie can attest to this on her journey, but like I'm still in the first few years of my journey of being more aware of how I want to be and the thoughts and how they affect everything. So when you say you're going on vacation or it's the week, we'll just even focus on the weekends because they come so often for everybody. So this weekend you have this plan. Yes, I'm not going to make food the focus, this, that, and the other, and you're ready to go. And then the food becomes the focus. And then Monday comes and you're beating yourself up. That
Mm,
is so hurtful to yourself.
yeah.
Like you're in the process of learning and practicing. And we've talked about this before, but do not beat yourself up for things that didn't go perfectly. It is practice, not perfection. Practice, 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 and learn. So that weekend didn't go well. You gained weight. You feel bloated. You're tired. You have a headache. You don't, all the things. Okay, write that down. Remember that feeling. Write it somewhere that you can say, okay, Thursday's here, weekend's coming. This happened last weekend. I did not feel good doing that. What's the one thing I can do differently this weekend that would be easy, that would make the weekend feel better for me come Monday morning?
Yeah, and it's just that one thing. I mean, one thing that we do, it doesn't sound like enough, but one is better than none. So find that one thing and do it like a boss.
Yeah, I was really amazed at how long that 15 minutes felt just sitting on my porch, and it wasn't a bad feeling. I was so excited that I think when I checked, there was still like 5 minutes left, and I was like, "Ooh, nice. I still have 5 minutes, just sit there." But whether Debbie had mentioned a walk, it's so true. So many of us are like, "Oh, I don't have a full hour to walk," or "I don't have a full half hour," whatever your goal is. If you have 10 minutes to get outside and get fresh air, there's all kinds of studies you can look up, but that is really good for mental health and relaxing and all the good stuff. But say you don't want to walk 10 minutes because you're stressed out and you want to relax, go sit outside for 5 minutes, walk for 5 minutes. Like anything that you can do that you feel might give you what you need, just try it out. Take the shower with the candles on or, lights off or tea, or really sit and think about what would make you feel happy without food, or what might make you feel relaxed. It could be a nap, whatever. Make a list, like make a foodless menu for yourself of things to try. And, if you didn't like it, then okay, that's not one for you. On to the next one to try next time. Um, but keep experimenting and keep trying. And at first, it probably is, it depends, like I said, too, what part of the journey you're in. Because I know when I first started all this, like missing food was real. Like, still would be nice to have the chips or whatever. But now, alls I did enjoy having the coffee because it was warm and comforting, and I enjoyed that. But that 15 minutes on my porch, I love my porch. There's not enough words to explain how much I love our porch. It is my happy place. So that is something that I will know that I will do on a regular basis now, is intentionally sit there, not with my phone in my hand. That definitely was a no. I left my phone in another room because I get
Yeah.
super distracted by my phone. And I know when I'm on my phone, I'm definitely not being mindful of my surroundings. So
Mhm.
that was a big thing for me too, and that made a big difference as well.
And my phone is it's like a prayer for chaos. That is, I
Mm.
have a friend had said that phrase to me, and it's like I hold my phone like I'm so worried something's gonna come through this, and when I really need to disconnect, I can't even hold it because it's like I'm waiting for something. And I know like that's something that a thought that I just have ingrained in me, but there's so much freedom in letting go of a phone. Like you may not think so, but I think that's so important that you mentioned that that phone was not with
Mm.
you when you had that 15 minutes. It was you time.
Yes, it's something I'm working on. I think most of us can, if you're looking at the video, you see my cat's tail right now. There's his face. Um, it's something that society in general, we are all very much bound to our phones, iPads, laptops, whatever it is. And I do tend to get lost in scrolling or even sometimes playing solitaire, whatever it is. But it serves a purpose. But there's also a very big purpose of leaving it behind. And even like I said, that 15 minutes, just try it, leave it in another room. 15 minutes, I'm telling you, nothing in the world will happen that catastrophic. Well, not nothing ever, but you'll have a, if you're worried about catastrophes,
Oh,
leave the ringer on.
right.
But
But the likelihood, the odds
yes,
are everything's going to be
yes,
a-okay for that 15 minutes. And
yeah.
you know what? That again is a practice, right? It's
Mhm.
practicing it's like meditation. Like it's hard to sit there just not being distracted, but it's a beautiful thing to learn, right? Like that you
Yes.
can just sit there. I've been doing a lot of, we all judge ourselves for our thoughts, right? And have you ever just like letting go of the phone for 15 minutes? You can have that freedom. Or without judging yourself that something's going to happen, that there's going to be a catastrophe. We can also sit alone in our thoughts for 15 minutes and not judge them and just say, hey, anything that comes in, it's okay. I'm going to hear you. What do you got to say? Not bad, not good. I'm just going to listen. Like, there's so many things that we can practice, that we can use to take the focus off food, like the 15 minutes of relaxing for yourself, the 15 minutes of listening to what's going in your head. You don't have to distract yourself from food forever, just long enough to sit through that craving or that urge or
Yeah, absolutely. And I think so many people always feel so busy. And I think that it's something that you can work on in your thought too, that 15, and if 15 minutes feels too long, start with 5 or 10. But if you start with 5, 10, or 15 minutes in your day, find time for that. All the stuff we had to do before leaving, packing and clean the house and order whatever we had to do, that 15 minutes did not break any of that from happening. So it's really important to remember that there's always 15 minutes for yourself. Maybe you wake up 15 minutes earlier to get that time. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe you take that.
yes.
There's a way to find 15 minutes for yourself. And if you have a hard time with it, write in. We'll help you.
It will help you find
Um,
it.
we'll help you
Oh,
find it. Yeah,
yeah.
it's we really shortchange ourselves so much, and I'm so grateful for doing that exercise because it was an intentional exercise that I set out for myself to do on Saturday. So, and it does take practice,
Mm,
especially in this day and age when everybody's expected to do so much all the time.
yes.
Hmm.
Expectations either we put on ourselves, we think people are, or there are. So,
Yeah.
well, I hope you have the best vacation, and I cannot wait to check
Thank
back
you.
in with you for everybody to hear how you did, enjoying your time at Disney, what your favorite activity was that you did, your favorite memory, and your favorite food, because that is all part of the experience.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I am so excited, so ready, and we look forward to it every year and seeing our friends and being there. So it'll be great.
That's awesome. Well, don't forget, even though she's away, we are still going to be seeing your comments on Facebook, checking your emails that you send to April and Debbie Dish the Truth at gmail.com. You can find us there on April and Debbie Dish the Truth on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I don't know if I'm missing anywhere else. That's it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Uh, so I hope you all have a great week. And from my heart to your journey, keep blooming.
Yes, and as always, wake up willing to do something that feels good to you.
Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.